not be waiting for other people to tell our story.
Jackie Whitmore has been working to increase the visibility of Fort Motte, a historically black community in Calhoun County.
When people stop sharing stories, they stop sharing about their families and their connections and everything like that. So nobody talked about that anymore. And so your story now becomes somebody else's story.
The community was established in 1875 at the tail end of the Reconstruction era. Whitmore's ancestors have lived in the community for generations.
I, like a lot of other people, was not born here. I was not born here. I was not raised here. So I'm a descendant of this community. So being a descendant of this community, I think is important and significant to do just that, to preserve the story and the legacy of our people as it relates to this community.
In July, he opened a display with photographs, news clippings, and other artifacts donated from local community members to chronicle their stories. With the help of a group of descendants of the Langsine plantation, there are now 5 historical markers in the community, memorializing a historic black church and cemeteries.
Trying to get documentation, as they state, to verify the information that you have in the historical marker erected. The problem with that is that there's very little to none for African Americans. So the process of having the historical markers erected can be a little cumbersome.
He says he relied heavily on oral history and worked with the State Department of Archives and History through the process. Now he's passing on the stories he's learned to the next generation.
And I want to impress, the other communities to do the same thing. Tell your own story.
In Calhoun County, Nigel Hood, News 19 WLTX.
Well, if you would like to apply for a historical marker, all markers must be sponsored by an organization that includes historical, patriotic, or civic basis. Once approved by the South Carolina Department of Archives and History Director, the sponsor is responsible for installing the marker and complying with local and state regulations. Markers will only be approved for historic events 50 years or older.